Yeah, I'm starting again. We just done all of the very ordinary shopping, getting groceries and stuff like that. So I wanted to mention a few things about what Beth and I have been doing, what we started, what we tried to create here in this community where so many people are needing of help. I'm driving, okay, so sometimes I might take a moment to find out what's happening on the road. So I'm coming back from Taliban, as I said, but I did want to talk and inform, I hope, of some of the things that we've encountered since we started. First of all, we started about 6 or 7 years ago, and it took us 3 years to get approved for our charity, Terence and Beth Martin Giving Hope Inc. Incorporated, that is. And during that time we've made many houses and given them to the poor, and we've been supported by incredible people. Now the thing is that as soon as you start to help, here's an interesting thing about helping. To a person who is willing to help, watching other people be helped is a rewarding thing. When they've researched the subject of help and of good deeds and doing acts of kindness, when they've researched on that, what they found is that when people watch an act of kindness being done, they can get almost the same good feeling from watching that happen as the person who did it. Of course, any act that comes in, it's a kind of a three-way thing. You've got the person who is helped, who is given to, who is the recipient, and then you've got the person who gives it. Now, one of the things that we've tried to do is to show things being done, to show stories that might inspire people to help. So human interest stories which give someone the opportunity to help. And what we tried to do right at the beginning was, we said, if you see something, if you see a project that you would like to help and you want to donate a particular amount of money, any amount of money, to that one project, then we will make sure that you can see that person or that project being supported. You can see it happen. And someone once told us that the reason that he gave to our charity was because he could see that. And if he gave to one of the no less wonderful charities, but if it was a huge charity, you gave and it went into some massive organization and you never knew where your money had gone. Well, with our small grassroots charity, you've been able to see that. And so that's just touching it as an aside. So back to the idea that there's a recipient, and so there's a given to and a giver in plain language, and then there's the person that sees that act being performed. And so it's not just about the one who gives and the one who is given to. It's about someone else seeing that act performed. And there's a proviso on that, there's a condition on that. You have to be of the kind of person who would do a random act of kindness. I like that phrase, as in so many cases the Americans will come out with a phrase that is really catchy, and that was one of the things that I saw while I was in America, was perform or do a random act of kindness, a random good deed. In the UK they'd say, that's my good deed for the day. So that's on the positive side. But then the people who are not so quick or not so aligned with the idea of giving and of helping another will not get that same feeling. And as a result of that, we have all kinds of criticisms. We get all kinds of praise and people who enjoy watching what's happening, and then we get people who don't believe what they're seeing. And the quote that I like is that people will accuse you of doing what they would do if they had the opportunity. It's a kind of that makes sense to me. So we've had our more than fair share of being opposed, of being denigrated, of being slandered, of being libelled. We've had more than our fair share of that. But it's not even that is not without its good side, because some of the complaints are just plain silly. They're laughable. The one that always sticks out to me in my mind is the person that wrote to President Duterte. Now get this. It sounds like I'm making it up. He wrote to President Duterte at the time of when China was at crisis point to the Philippine people, government, nation, when they were taking over and building islands and doing all kinds of aggressive moves towards little old Philippines. And that was the time when this person chose to write to President Duterte and complain that Terence was not wearing his mask properly. I kid you not. So there are people who are providing us with a great deal of funny moments. Now, at the DSWD, at the height of what was, I used to call us that we were the flavour of the month, because so many expats jumped in and added their own criticism, and it was a both challenging and difficult time for us, and it was also a hugely learning time, where we learned great lessons. We cried a lot of tears and we had a lot of laughs, and the bottom line is that after having everything thrown at us that could be thrown at us and more, we're still here. Now, gotta admit that there have been times quite recently when we have been on the verge of giving up. In fact, a little while ago things were so bad that we did give up, but it was short-lived. I've got an ambulance coming up behind me. I've got to pull over and let them through. Hold on. I'm going to pull off. Matt, the ambulance is flashing its lights. Okay, we're done. Yeah. Where was I? So we're still here, and we did learn that it is a true saying that which doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and we're stronger now than we ever were. We reached a point a little while ago, because a few months ago our main support in the form of a foundation in America who have been so incredible with us, who have given so much, not just about a grant which they gave us every month. It's not just about that. It was the mentoring, the advice, the support, the in some cases a shoulder to lean on and cry on, to keep us going. And we have a place in our hearts where they will always be. But they have had to cut our grant. So our main support has been taken away from us. And that leaves us with a massive commitment in not in our housing program, because with our housing program, when we have the funds, we build a house and rehouse a homeless family. That's what we do. But we do that when the funds are there, or when we believe that the funds will come in sufficient quantity that we'll be able to do it. So at the moment we're not doing much house building, but we are totally committed to helping our students on what we have called our education support program. Now, it's been really tough because it means that we have to come up with enough money to give these kids an allowance. Once again, this is something that it depends on whether you are the kind of person that will help or not. And if you are the kind of person, then you'll be looking at it and getting pleasure, a good feeling from watching us when we succeed, and well, being sorry for us when we don't quite succeed every month. If you oppose this kind of thing, I always say that one of the biblical quote that people make, which is the most misused in my estimation, is the one about giving a man a fish. If you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach him to fish, then you will feed him for life. Yes, but that is such a conditional thing. What we are trying to do is we're trying to give kids, I'm talking about kids, they're kids to me, they're like my children now, that they need help, and we are there for them. Not just about money, as I've said again. For them, it's also about mentoring and helping to keep them on the path, and also hoping that they will learn to pay this debt forward and help others who may need help. Well, we can only do this because we have incredible people who are supporting us. Now, in the case of the foundation, there was money there, and it only stopped when the stock exchange in America took a plunge and investments were not bringing in the same interest as would be hoped in order to actually sustain our grant, and that's why it was stopped. But the people that are contributing to us now are incredible, because they're not all rich. Some are better off than others, but some are working damned hard for their money. So when they make a contribution, it's from money that's hard won, that's hard earned. And so they are the heroes. We're not the heroes. Never ever pretended to be the heroes. We are empowered by the people who support us. So that's where we are at the moment. We're struggling a little, we're doing, as we've always said, we're doing what we can with what we have, and that's our situation. Now you can help us, even though this is not actually a fundraising video. It was more an explanation of what our present situation is, but you can help us in many ways. You can go to Patreon. You can make us a continuing small donation there. You can help with the allowances of the students that we have. We have 70 students, 56 are young women and the rest young men. We're very proud of them all. Have to say that the reason there are more young women than there are young men is because the young women took that long muddy walk up to our house and asked for our help, as you will see if you ever go back and look at the videos of youngsters coming to our house and asking if we can possibly help them through their education. And it just happens that there were more girls than there was boys. So I'm at home now. It's not a wonderful ending, I know. Wouldn't it be great if I could just sum it all up? But I'm just speaking while I'm driving, and I wanted people to know, I wanted subscribers to know, first of all, how much we appreciate the help that we are given, beyond the word appreciate. You empowered us to do what we do, and we are so grateful. We carry you in our hearts. Thanks for watching.